What is your favourite snack to eat whilst writing?
Hello, Simon James Green here, author of Finn Jones. And my favourite snack while writing would be cake. It's cake. I've got a really sweet tooth, and when I'm writing and under a lot of pressure, I really need lots of sugar. So yes, I know it should be something healthy, like celery and hummus, really, but it's not. It's cake.
Do you treat yourself when you have completed the first draft of a book?
Well, when I finish the first draft of a book, I will treat myself, usually with cake, actually. That would be my favourite way of celebrating actually finishing. So cake during and cake after. It's important to have cake at all times.
What is your favourite thing to do when you have completely finished a book?
So when I've completely finished a book entirely, it's all done and dusted, obviously it goes without saying I will celebrate with some cake. But more excitingly, it's also a chance for me to actually read one of the books that I've been meaning to read for ages, because I find it really hard to read books while I'm also writing my own books. Because I find that I tend to kind of copy what other people have done if I'm not careful. So getting back to doing a bit of reading is a really fun thing, and also then hopefully I'll have some time to have a think about some brand new ideas as well, which is always a really fun part of the process.
What is your favourite children's book ever written?
My favourite children's book would be The Secret Diary of Adrian Mole, aged 13 3/4, by an author called Sue Townsend. And I first read that book when I think I was in year 8 probably, so I was about 12 years old. And I just loved it. It was the first time that I read a book featuring a boy who seemed exactly like me, you know, like really geeky, complete dork. And it's a really funny story, which I really love as well. And it's a really ordinary story. It's just about a boy growing up in Leicester, basically, and about his kind of chaotic family life. But that book had a really big impact on me, and it was a real source of inspiration when I started to write my own books as well, because I wanted to create kind of similar characters in a very kind of real environment, so not sort of fantasy or anything like that, but that would make people laugh as well. So definitely look out for that book when you get to secondary school.
If you could invite 3 children's authors to dinner, past or present, who would you invite and why?
Right, 3 children's authors I'd invite for dinner. So this dinner's a tricky thing. You want a nice mix of people. It's got to be fun, right? So the first person I'd invite actually would be Sue Townsend, who wrote my favourite book of all time, Secret Diary of Adrian Mole. She is sadly dead, so it would effectively be her corpse reanimated, which sounds awful, but her, or the ghost of Sue Townsend obviously would be fine. I think she'd be very funny. I'd love to get her insights into comedy and creating really funny characters, and that would be brilliant. I just reckon she'd be a really good laugh as well. But then 2 other authors that I love. One would be Beth Garrett, who is a great friend of mine, and she's very funny as well, and she also writes really awkward characters as well, just like I do, who kind of feel a bit like underdogs all the time, you know, and things never go right for them. So she could come along, and then I think I'd invite my friend Benjamin Dean as well, and Ben's just a really good laugh, and Ben wrote books like The Secret Sunshine Project, which you might have heard of. He's a brilliant writer, but he's also just a really funny guy, and would be great to have at a dinner party. I think it'd be a nice mix to have there. Those are my 3.
If you could co-write a children's book with another author, who would you like to write with and why?
Right, if I was co-writing a children's book with another author, okay, I would love to do that with someone like Agatha Christie. Now, Agatha Christie is sadly no longer with us. She died years ago, but she wrote loads and loads of absolutely brilliant murder mystery stories. And I really got into reading her books when I was about 11 or 12 actually, so I just started secondary school and I really got into them. They're fabulous stories, they're really good reads, really well plotted, lots of exciting twists in them that you really don't see coming, and really clever murders. And I would love to collaborate with someone like that on a kind of murder mystery thriller children's book, I think, because I think it'd be really great to have her input about all the mystery plots and the murders and who did it and why and all that kind of stuff, added with kind of my knowledge of writing kids books as well. So I think would be a great combination. So it's just a pity that she's not alive anymore. It's obviously the only major problem in that otherwise brilliant plan.
If your shortlisted book were to be made into a film, who would you like to play your main characters?
So, if Finn Jones was made into a film or TV show, who would I cast as the main characters? It's a tricky one, this actually, because obviously the characters in Finn Jones are sort of 11 or 12 years old, and the actors who are around who are kind of that age obviously get older quite quickly, like every year. And before you know it, they're too old to play those sorts of parts anymore. So I think actually the best way of casting Finn Jones would be to do a search for completely new talent. So I'd like to find some people to play Finn and Eric and all the rest of the characters who actually you simply don't know, you've never met before, but who obviously love acting and are great at performing. Do a nationwide search, something like that, find some fabulous new talent and make them famous. So who knows, if it happens, it could be you.